But yet, our belief was this: the development that saw over $3 million or $2 billion move out of this market from hedge funds was enough for everyone to know. The statistics were simple. The capital market comprised mostly of about 53%. If you look at the profile of the capital market, moved away from about 80% of savers and moved to about 90% of speculators. That was an accident waiting to happen. If the predominance proportion of the people who play in the market, which was supposed as designed to be a place where companies go in to actually raise money to fund operations, in now became a market dominated and more or less the agenda was being set by investors, mostly speculators,
rather than the regulators.
Now, the market was supposed to be free. It now became an aspect whereby the regulators did not define the operating rules anymore. The market was dominated more by profit, not the profit declared by the companies, but the profit being made on the market,
or the profit being sought by the speculators themselves.
So the issues of price, either manipulation or speculation,
that's what we need to clear out, the difference between speculation and manipulation. Speculation, whether that is really criminal or
it is not.
It's not. Manipulation is not. We'll talk about that later. But page 66 of the NCM report, which we got here, is very, very interesting. One of the things you said in this report, that was said in this report, you published, your friend published in February this year, well before Lamido came into office, paragraph 4, and you said the Central Bank of Nigeria, under whose supervision the lending and risk management of credits to the market took place, must now, in italics, take over the funding assets at the bank's lending rate. The bank will have fresh capital. They should make provision for resolving the margin loans to associated companies, subsidiaries, and other investors, and a payment period for this margin loan to be converted into equity by the government at a proviso that the banks must sustain lending to the real sector and investors in the market. The loans to be partly over a longer term period with lower interest rate. You stand by this pronouncement.
It will be valid today. It was valid then. It will also be valid tomorrow. The answer was simply this: what was the problem Lamido Sanusi faced? Liquidity. Pure and simple. Liquidity from banking. He is not also the capital market regulator, so let's get that separated. From a banking perspective, the only problem he faced was liquidity. And the capital market has already faced liquidity. How do you get the liquidity? How did the liquidity come into the capital market in the first place? The banks were lending into the capital market. Everybody knew that. It was so obvious. And it started from the rules and regulations to be made, allowing the banks to own the stockbroking firms, to also have assets in there. So, they were regulating the banks, they were not regulating the whole group. It is so funny that it's so almost, to use the right word, without reason, to imagine that you could deal with this problem. Now, all you did, which of what we tried to avoid in our half-year report, so that all we needed to do was not grandstanding. It was a clear case of him saying, first thing we're going to do, we're going to give you money at an interest rate. If we have problems with your management, we can actually go to your bed and say, we cannot believe these people can. And the answer we have problems with management was simply this. The only problem we saw was not the market meltdown. We've always said it. There was a leadership meltdown. Way back in 2006, myself and a few others, I believe Martin Luther, the bottom line, a few others, Business Day, organized a forum. And I believe it was Felicia Phillips who said it. That the greatest challenge to Nigerian businesses, be it banks or whatever, any of the businesses in this country, was the function that we could not, or we lacked the capacity, or we could not assess the capacity to manage big business. You rarely find people who are managing 1 billion, 2 billion business. Somebody had 100 billion businesses to manage. Yet, the management competence ability to deliver 100 billion banking business was never upgraded. You have the same guys who are giving credit to a man of 100 billion was not dealing with complex credit scenarios, like the oil financing, like the real sector financing. These were things we were not used to before. These were positive things, nothing bad, but the regulator did not, as part of his consolidation program, make any requirement to upgrade the supervisory or perhaps the regulatory environment to make sure that these people are placed in check. That was why it was easy for them to go on a spending spree, donations, and again the government also supported, which we made allusions to